which are called Start, Build, Grow. And it's basically looking at how you can start your company or your startup, how you can build it, and you can actually grow it. So in this philosophy or way we're going to be working is that with Start, Build, Grow, it's actually a structured approach to actually using digital tools to starting, building, and growing your business. We obviously is focusing specifically on Kimberley businesses and the potential that they have to grow, and the broader Northern Cape. So myself and Seho are just going to be trying to work together with different businesses, different startups, different organizations, and the first of which is going to be MLab. So today I've got some really, really awesome guys that are going to be on our panel. They are the facilitators for MLab Galeshewe. So the first speaker we have is Henleo Louw. I'm going to allow each of them to give themselves, to introduce themselves. And we also have Kabelo Gaotlhaelwe. Yes. So Henleo, welcome. Sorry, you muted.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Wanga, for inviting us. I'm looking forward to this great session and what you guys are doing. So quickly introduction, I am Henleo Louw, but you can feel free to call me hashtag. Everybody does. So yeah, don't miss on that opportunity. So I'm the provincial coordinator for MLab in the Northern Cape and just coordinating the day-to-day operations of MLab in the Northern Cape, making sure that it's healthy, doing ecosystem development, and working with the guys on the ground, developing our youth in the Northern Cape. So that's a brief introduction of me and what I'm doing. So I'm gonna let my colleague introduce himself as well.
Thanks. Hashtag. Kabelo, are you there?
Hi everyone. First of all, let me take this opportunity to say thank you to Wanga for the opportunity and also for invitation. Just a quick introduction. So currently I work as a skill facilitator for MLab. So what I do basically, I facilitate and mentor and coach young people on how to code like mobile application. So basically, I'm a teacher at heart. I like sharing knowledge and developing people. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, thanks, you guys. It's really a pleasure to meet you. Hashtag, I'm curious about how you got the name hashtag, but we'll get into that. So, in order to just give an understanding to our audience of who you guys are, I wanted you guys to just go into detail in terms of how you specifically got into tech and how specifically that led you to MLab and app development. Because we'd really love to hear your story. So, Kabelo, we'll start with you.
Thank you. I started in 2014. So in 2014, I started my own digital agency. Awesome. Where I wanted to help small businesses to build their own digital footprint and also to help them to engage with their customers using social media. Then straight after me starting a digital agency, also I started an e-commerce website where artists they can display or sell their product through my platform. So whenever they sell their stuff through my platform, we take a commission. Then those two businesses failed like decimally. They failed like decimally.
It's part of the grind. It's part of the grind.
Yes. Then from there on, I went to Vets. Vets, they have this initiative called Simologo, where they develop youth in digital, where they empower people in coding and digital literacy. That's when my coding or programming career started. Then from there on, I went to MLab as a code typer. So currently I work as a skill facilitator.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story. Thanks so much for sharing with us. Hashtag. First start with telling us how you got the name hashtag.
So the name hashtag is actually a funny story. It's not tech related or anything. So I was doing this evangelism course back in Booster. And, before we started the course, we had to hashtag everything on social media, our breakfast, the topic for the day, and all of those things. So every time we went out, we have to tell people about what we are doing. So instead of that, I just got myself a hashtag cap and a hashtag t-shirt, and I just walk around with it. And then people just start calling me hashtag from there on, and I adopt the name. Yeah. So when I got to varsity, I just introduced myself as hashtag, and people thought it was tech related. But yeah, meanwhile, I didn't know anything about tech. So yeah.
And so then just go into how you basically got into tech and how you eventually ended up at MLab specifically.
Yeah. So this story started a long time ago when I was still a young lad running around barefoot. No, I'm just joking. I see one that's knocking seriously. His head is like, this sounds good. Yeah. So I started in the year 2015 before I went to varsity. I was working at the church as a graphic designer. So we were doing graphic designing, and I was intrigued about how the software is working and how can this thing actually make the photo, how to cut the photo. So I just do some research, read up about it, and I ended up with reading about HTML and the basis of how the internet works, or the structure that in all applications on the internet are built upon was HTML. And I was fascinating about it, and I started to make my own HTML thingies.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, even I started out by just printing on the, when you open up a HTML page, it's just the white. So I printed some things on there and I showed my friends. I was like, yeah, I can go on the internet without network. Wow, look at this guy. So yeah, and I decided to study IT to learn more about application development and how those applications are actually made and how they are operating. And yeah, that's how I get into tech. And I started with MLab at 2019. So how that happened was, by that time, the lady who was the coordinator at MLab Northern Cape, we started building a relationship. She would ask me to do these events at MLab, and like the hackathons, I would like arrange them for MLab. I would keep the registers, and she was like, "Yeah, this guy looks like a guy that have things together." But meantime, hey, I was running all over the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she just took me in and mentored me and showed me the ropes, and that's how I got into MLab. And by that time, there was a position open, so I applied for it. I did my best. I did the chores, like did the admin, did the research if there's research that needed to be done. Yeah, and that's how I got into MLab.
No, thanks so much, guys. And hearing your stories, there's so many elements of it that I could relate to. I remember with me myself, being in Kimberley as a young child boy, and my first interaction with tech was when my mother walked into the house. I still remember her like it was yesterday. She walked in the house and she was standing at the door, and all I could see was her silhouette, and she was carrying this big device, right? And this device, I didn't know what it was, but it was so big because I think I was 6 or 7. I would actually sit on it and ride it back and forth. That's how big it was. For me, it was just like a joyride. And that was actually a typewriter. It was that big. And then a few months later, she came, same thing. She comes to the door with a silhouette. I see it. But now, instead of holding it in her arms, she was holding a smaller device, like in her, sort of like a briefcase. And when I opened it, it was a typewriter. So, you know, when you're like a young child and you have that thing, you realize, wait, these two things do the same thing, but they're different from each other. And you realize, and that's when, for me, my love for technology started, realizing that things develop over time. And you literally start from not knowing anything, like you mentioned, hashtag, where you knew nothing about HTML, you knew nothing about tech, but here you are training people in your community about tech, and that's why we're having these type of sessions, to make people understand that no matter where you are in your career, whether you like in your 40s, 50s, or you're a young child, you're just 4 or 5, if you just have that interest in tech, it's never too late or too late or too early to learn about it. So in terms of actually learning about things, I wanted you guys to please share the initiatives that MLab generally takes part in. I know there was a recent initiative that closed recently, and also we'll get into some of the initiatives that you guys have planned, so that people have an idea how to interact with you guys. So just generally, what are the initiatives that someone that comes and walks into MLab Galeshewe would have access or be able to partake in? So I think either one of you can answer. If one forgets something, you can just feel free to add what the other one may have forgotten.
Okay, no, thank you, Wanga. So MLab have 3 core programs that it runs. So those 3 core programs is Skills Accelerator, Enterprise Accelerator, and Ecosystem Development. So let's start with ecosystem development. So ecosystem development is basically just where we have like these workshops of making people aware of technology, like the one that we're having now with the startup grant, where we just go out to the community and make them aware of technologies. Like the one that we are running currently is beginners course in IoT, where we teach them how IoT devices work and how to actually build IoT devices. So that's the one that we are currently busy with in the ecosystem development section or leg of MLab. And the other one is the enterprise development. So enterprise development is basically where we take tech startups and we actually help them through their startup journey, where we give them access to mentorships, access to seed funding, and also have them access to link ups, access to market, where we link them up with businesses or potential partners that can partner with the startups. And then the last leg or the last core program is skills development. That's where Kabelo actually that's his expertise. So I'll let him. You see how he's smiling like a kid who just got.
Wants to jump in.
I'll let him talk a little bit about that.
Okay,
thank you, hashtag. So we have like an ICT program called Tribe. So basically we teach people programming, but also programming and coding, but we're not limited just to coding and programming. We add like different elements like entrepreneurship, project management. So basically it's like a 9-month program where you come in and then we teach you how to use like different frameworks, like your React Native, using Firebase, using HTML and CSS. So basically we teach you the basics. Then from there on, it's more like a build up. Then yeah, basically just we teach people how to create mob application in code types. So it's like a 9 months program. Yeah.
Yeah. So the core purpose of all of these programs is to stimulate innovation and help people taking part, or help you taking part in the digital economy of our country. Because at the end of the day, we see how the unemployment rate is just rising, and we want to make our youth aware that you don't need to have a job to have an income. There's actually, you can use this technology to create your own job and create job for other people around you. So that's the main purpose of these programs that we are running.
Yeah, and I really love that you touched on, the unemployment rate. I mean, we saw some shocking statistics that have recently come out, and I think it's very important for, especially young guys such as yourself, to come in and basically make everyone aware that, look, you can actually build technologies, but building those technologies is not enough if you're not going to make it sustainable. And you have your skills development, right? Then you have your enterprise development, where you're encouraging people to get into that space, because it's really not easy, especially for tech guys. Tech guys want to build and build and build and build forever. But that's why, some of the challenges you find a lot of the tech hubs in different parts of the country is that it never becomes sustainable. So I want to say, guys, like, big up for the fact that you realize it's very important to be able to teach people how to build technologies that will actually be able to generate revenues, generate the funds you need to actually build your next iteration. You go from your alpha to your beta. We need to find ways also to just share those different ways with people. So in terms of what's coming up, you mentioned, you have your structured programs, and it's very good to hear that anyone that comes into your ecosystem will actually find their way. You guys are dealing with that situation where someone comes and they feel as though they're a bit all over the place, so you have structured approaches for people to plug into. So what is it that's coming up for MLab Galeshewe?
So at the moment, we are running our enterprise development, which the calls are still open for the Northern Cape, where people can still apply. So if you have a business idea or a tech business idea, apply. I'll share the links with Tegofatso and Wanga for you guys. And then also, what is coming up, we have My Smart City Challenge.
Okay.
So basically, it's going to be in three cities in the Northern Cape, in Springbok, Kimberley, and in Uppington. So if you have like an idea of how to actually make your city smart, because there's so much room for technology growth in the Northern Cape. If you take Springbok alone, like we have the harbor there, we have mines there. How can we digitalize those sectors within Springbok? And also how that can also attract tourism into our province. So that's coming up. And then, am I forgetting something else?
Just for correction, it's not 3 cities, like 5 cities. Like they are Springbok, Romani, Uppington, and Kimberley. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yes. So 5 cities. My apologies there. Yeah. And then we also have the DSD program that also running, where we teach people in the youth centers. So we give them skills to also teach people in their community. So basically what that is doing is not only do we give them leadership skills, but we're also giving them the opportunity to reach other people that we can't reach ourselves. Yeah. Did I miss any programs, Mr. Kabelo? Upcoming programs?
Also, we have a makerspace coming. We should launch it early next year. So we're going to do like robotics, 3D. So I'm excited. So we should launch that in between February and March. I'm not too sure. We don't have the exact date, but we have a makerspace coming soon where we're going to have like 3D, robotics, you name it, IoT. If you like to explore with IoT robotics, yeah, we should be on the lookout. We're launching that soon.
Yeah, and also the nice thing about that, it's not going to be like a program that we run. It's something like walk-in space where you can just come in and play around with the technologies.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, it's an open space for everyone. If you want to explore, learn robotics, IoT, you can just come in anytime you want. So it's not going to be like a full-on program, but then just you come in whenever you feel like you want to explore and learn robotics.
Wow, I think that's probably one of the most exciting things, I've heard in recent times about what's happening in Kimberley. And I'm just so glad that you guys you guys put your hands up. You volunteered your time, your efforts in order to actually start building not only just the apps, but an entire ecosystem. The makerspace, I think, is going to be such an awesome thing. You can expect me to walk in there because personally myself, I'm not so much on the software side. I'm a maker, if it's physical, that's me. If I can automate it, even better. That's how I get to the software side of things. So the robotics and such will really be an exciting thing for me. So in terms of those type of initiatives, who are you specifically targeting? Is it schools, universities? Because let's assume that in this call we have, people who are in primary school, they have children in primary school, or maybe we have some people in university, have people in employment. How do you target those specific groups? Let's start with primary schools, and then we move on to the high schools and universities, and then to your more professionals. Maybe if you can speak to how you target each of those demographic groups.
So in terms of code type, basically we target university graduate. So you must have some sort of like IT background for you to join our program. So in terms of our makerspace is open to everyone. Don't have like specific to say who must join our programs. So in terms of the hackathon, also we don't have like a specific audience. Anyone can just join in. If you're a creative entrepreneur, software engineer, you're more than welcome to join us. So if you think you have the next big thing, you are welcome to join in our programs. So just for code type, also just we have specific to say we want university graduate, those who have like ICT background to join in our program, because coding, guys, coding is not for everyone. It's hard, so at least must have like an IT background for you to join in our code type programs. But outside that, we welcome everyone. If you think you have like a nice idea, you have the next big thing, you can join our workshops, our incubation, our makerspace. I'm not sure if I'm leaving something. Hashtag.
Thank you. So let's start with our primary school. So what we're doing in terms of our primary schools is Kids Coding Bootcamp. So that's the program that we run during school holidays for kids, where we use like drag and drop your drag and drop coding platforms like Scratch to teach kids in schools or primary schools how to actually code, or give them the basics or the entry level on coding and the nice things about coding. And for our high schools, we don't really have a program or a specific group for them, but we do run like lean coffee sessions where we actually give them like a foot in the door in terms of the tech tools that are out there to create your own business. And if we go to young professionals, we have our, like Kabelo just mentioned, we have our Code Tribe Academy, and then we also have our enterprise development. And then what we usually do is what we did with the college, the community college, is we used to offer them computer basic programs where we teach them how to use Microsoft Word, how to use Excel, how to keep your computer clean from viruses, because I know in universities, especially the students, the education students, or the students that are not into the natural and applied science fields, they usually tend to struggle with keeping viruses off their computers or with slow computers. So yeah, I found that to be helpful to them.
Okay, great. So it's glad, like I'm glad that you've actually, made everyone who's part of this call have a sense that they'll be able to find their place. Now I want us to now go back to just focusing on MLab itself. So my first encounter with MLab was at the Innovation Hub in Pretoria. I think I was still in university at the time. So in general, what is the philosophy of MLab in terms of, is it focused on just apps? Is it focused on mobile? Maybe just give everyone an understanding of exactly, now we're going to hone in on what it is that we're developing in terms of your skills, capability, and interests when you step into MLab or come into the MLab ecosystem.
Yeah, so in general, when you walk into MLab is a tech hub, if you can call it that. So if you walk into MLab, what you'll find is that MLab is basically a support structure for people that wants to build applications or that wants to start a business in the ICT sector. It's farming or whether it's in food security, as long as it has that ICT element into it, you'll find the support structure MLab has for that. So MLab is basically placing emphasis on developing young people that have tech solutions but don't know how to take that solution forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the core of MLab, to develop our youth in the ICT sector.
Kabelo, do you have anything you want to add?
And also we have like footprint in 3 provinces. We have footprint in Kimberley, in Johannesburg, also in Limpopo. So currently we have 5 code type labs. So we have one in Kimberley. We have 3. Yeah, we have 3 in Joburg. Then we have one in Limpopo. So yeah.
And then we also have partnerships we're running programs in Africa, in Tanzania, and what's the other? I'm not Tanzania and Tambiza, and also in Namibia. So we're running. We have a virtual presence in those areas and also in the Western Cape.
Yeah, I'm glad you're focused. People mustn't get it twisted. They must know that you guys are global, and you're going into Africa, and hopefully we're gonna go beyond, guys. So, just in terms of now, let's say I'm a typical let me say participant in your programs. Okay, I've now signed up and I've gone through. I've met the requirements, and you guys want to work with me, and I have an idea. Take me through the process, because I think this is what people are really hungry for. I come, I have an idea. One, where must my idea be? At what stage? Must I have built a prototype? Must it just be, just a walkthrough? Must it be fully running? Must I come with traction and say I've got hundreds of thousands of users? Where must I meet MLab? And from there, where do you guys take me?
Okay, let's take a look at, let's say you have an idea and you walk into MLab, into the startup accelerator program. So we know how hard it is for a startup that just started to actually get funding or to actually find his feet in the ecosystem. So basically all you need is a registered business and a prototype. So it doesn't need to be a high fidelity prototype. It can be a low fidelity prototype where it's just on paper, where you're showing us how it's going to work and how is the future looks like. And then we'll make an assessment from there. Is it viable for this business to grow? And if it's not viable, but it's an idea that we see that can work amongst the people of the province or in the region that you are placed, we help you develop that idea. We don't just throw you out. We actually help you understand the market need for that idea of yours. And from there, what we are doing is we first have where we give workshops around mentorship, around tech tools and customer services, how to keep your customers satisfied, and walk you through the whole process of the idea stage up until the market stage. And when we're done with all that process and with all that training, we actually link you up with a mentor that is in the industry or that has built businesses before. And we link you up for 3 months with that mentor to actually, because now we're giving you all the training. We've already built your business. We've already built your MVP. Now that MVP is out there, all you now need is customers and a person to help you to actually sell your product. That's where we link you up with your with a mentor that help you to get customers and help you to sell your product. And in that process, we also know that there will be money involved. So we're giving you a seed funding where, for an example, if you need to build a system, that seed funding can go to building that system. Or if you maybe need to build buy devices for your business in order for your business to make money. So that's where the seed funding comes in. And then after that, after you're done with the mentorship part of the program and you've received your seed funding or your devices to actually build your business, we don't just leave you there. We actually are building a database for alumni startups where we continue to link you up with people in the industry. Say, for an example, I'm just making an example. You are doing, let's say, your business is doing printing. We are actually linking you up with people who's doing printing or people that are looking to or selling t-shirts at a discount price. You understand?
Yeah.
And link you up to actually have an agreement. Okay, every month I'll give you 10 t-shirts, and from then 10 t-shirts you print five for these clients that I have, or 10 for these clients that I have. Do you understand? So that's what we're trying to do with our alumni startups. So the alumni startups haven't started yet, so it's going to start with the current cohort that we have.
Okay. So on that,
So to cut you off, just to add on what
to listen, yeah.
Yeah, just to add on what hashtag said. So also we have in-house capacity to help you to build your digital solution. Also, we can help in terms of building a prototype for you. Remember, we have code type, so we have in-house capacity to help you, to help the entrepreneur to build a prototype. So basically, you have a program called Code Up, where we link. So you come in as an entrepreneur, you have an idea, but you lack the skill to build maybe the application. We link you up to a code type who can build a prototype for you.
Wow.
So basically, you have an in-house capacity to help entrepreneurs build their prototype on their behalf.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to wonder if there's anything that you guys aren't offering people, because there's so many people I come across who have an idea and they need things like that where they don't have any ability to actually code themselves. So if you guys are offering such, I mean, it's really awesome. So now, with everything that you mentioned, I'm sure we all know the truth about, going through the processes as challenges here and there. So in general, let's try, discuss, with the purpose of getting to the solution. What is missing in the ecosystem? Like, what are the challenges that you as MLab are specifically facing in Galeshewe, maybe in Northern Cape, and maybe how you've overcome them? And I'm saying this because, in the call, there's probably people who are in the same process, thinking of joining. So it always helps to already be told that, okay, expect this and that. And luckily, we'll have you guys as mentors to just let everyone know that, okay, this is how you deal with this challenge. So let's just jump into those. What are the main challenges that you have faced? And let's also get into how you've overcome them.
So, with some of the challenges that we faced, one of them that is currently facing is like with the startup program that we are running. Like, people have businesses, right? But they don't know how to actually, or they are in the traditional way of doing businesses. They don't know how to actually, how can I say, get over to the technical side or the technology side of converting that traditional company into a tech company. So where the struggles come in, and people with an ideas like, this is my idea, leave it alone, this is how I make it stand, and this is how it will stand. So that's kind of one of the main challenges that we are struggling, especially in the Northern Cape, is people aren't really tech savvy, or they aren't really tech minded. So in the old ways of doing things, or traditional ways of doing things. So it's kind of hard to convince or to actually reach people who have strong beliefs, or who are still behind and are slow. So that's where our ecosystem development comes in, to actually slowly phase these people into the process of converting into technology, or switching from traditional to actually technology.
Yeah, I can imagine that, that must be quite a difficult challenge to deal with. But I trust that you guys are the only ones that are able to overcome that. Kabelo, from your side?
Also, we need support from MLab is fully sponsored by government. At the national level, sponsored by DSI, provincial level, sponsored by DTED, but we need support from the private sector, from the local mind to support us also in building the ecosystem that is conducive enough for creative entrepreneurs, software engineers to prosper. So currently from Northern Cape, we don't have support from private sector. So that's the main problem. We need more investment coming from the private sector, local mines. So currently we don't have that coming from the local mines in supporting entrepreneurs, software developers. So I think that's the main program we're facing in Northern Cape.
Yeah, so to all those people that are on the call, the deep pockets, because the idea of, startup grind is not just to bring one side. We also do want to bring those people that are willing to sponsor. Expect some proposals from MLab, because as you can see, they've got a lot of potential, and most importantly, they've got ideas which are implemented. It's one thing to have an idea; it's another thing to actually see its implementation. And those are deep pockets. Please, guys, be the sponsors of not just Startup Grind, also be sponsors of MLab and any of the initiatives that we will be bringing to your attention in the coming weeks and months. So now what I'd like us to do is, let's give a chance maybe for the next like 10 or so minutes for anyone on the call to just, put your name in the hat and feel free to just ask some questions. We've gone through quite a lot, but in that, we also didn't go through everything because the idea is for you to interact with us even beyond this session to get the in-depth information, because some of the stuff that if we start now, guys, it's literally like building an app, we will forever be iterating and the session won't end. So we're just going to give you guys the next like 10 minutes to feel free to just have a back and forth Q&A session. I did see a question in the chat. I'm just going to scroll down to it. It had to do with regard to the cities. It's from Keenan. He has signed off as EG. I think maybe that's his code name. He's from Priska and he asks, what do you do if you are not from one of those cities? So I think it may be relating to either the smart cities or the cities that you guys have partnerships or access to. So what do you do if you're not from one of those cities?
I think they can join us visually. So it's more like a hybrid approach where it's like physically and online. So those who can come to Kimberley or DR or Springbok, they can join us visually. I'm not sure if I answered his questions.
I think Keenan, is your question answered? If you want to add anything to it, feel free to jump in. We're more than willing to find an answer. Yeah, give an answer.
So I think for Keenan is the closest to Kimberley, so he'll most probably sign up under Kimberley. So the whole My Smart City Challenge is virtually, so it's not going to be physical to accommodate all the other cities. So Keenan will most probably sign up under Kimberley because that's the closest to him.
Oh, okay. That makes perfect sense. Where at least you guys have made provision as well for the hybrid approach where we don't have to physically be there. So you can actually join in virtually and then actually just become part of that. So in terms of events and that, I wanted to find out what's the type of events that maybe you have from time to time? Is it just hackathons, or do you have meetups, or how can we engage with you guys regularly in more of a social networking level, not just to be there to code, but if we want to just interact with you guys?
So I'm not sure if I quite understand the question, but one of the ways that you can interact with us is we do have Facebook, we have Twitter, and then we also have LinkedIn. So those are the channels that you can communicate with us or through with us. And then we also have a website if you need more information or if you need to apply for something. All the forms and things are on the website.
Okay, great. So I've also just shared in the chat the link for At MLab Galeshewe I. So you'll see when you get onto the website, it's a form that you can fill in to get in touch with them. So we have a question from, it says Klute, and he's asking, how does one go about patenting or registering an app idea or business for the idea? Very good question.
Okay, let's start with the app idea, how to register the app idea. So one of the ways that you can actually do that is on CIPC, and CIPC have a range of how can I say business types that you can arrange. So an app idea, you will basically register under IP because it's intellectual property and it has like coding involved, or how can I say, like it's more like you're going to register your art, like if you make a painting or something like that. So you're going to register it under that section. So one of the partners that we are working with is DCBH. So what they are doing is for all our startups that we get in, DCVH is doing the registration process of that company if it's not registered. So yeah, so one of the ways that you can do it is CIPC under intellectual property.
Yeah, thanks for touching on that, because a lot of people tend to forget the IP and CIPC. Everyone just wants to register their business, make sure their business is compliant, pay the annual, returns, but they never get to the actual trademarks, copyright, which is the actual value of your business. There's this analogy I always make where if Coca-Cola had all of its factories looted or burnt down, right? The very next day, Coca-Cola could literally go to the bank just with their trademarks alone, just with the bottle shape and the name Coca-Cola. And any bank would give them like millions of dollars just because of the value of it. It's not about the factory, it's not about the physical thing that you build, but it's just about how you protect your IP. So intellectual property is a very important thing. So what we'll do, guys, is we'll share some of the links of the organizations that MLab works with in that space. So it's a very important part of your business. So another question comes from Olile Car Park app. So that's some good product placement there. Olile, we see you an aggressive marketer and brand strategist. So his question says, I'm based in Johannesburg. I've developed and launched a car park app, which is now on Google Play. So well done on the progress. I want to be part of one of the programs from MLab. Will more information about these programs be available on your newsletter?
So yes, there will be. So where you can find information about these programs is on our website. So all the official links and the forms and information that you'll need is on our website. And then if it goes to locations on the website or hubs on the website, you'll see the different locations that we are situated in. Like for example, it's in Gauteng, you said, right?
Yes, in Johannesburg.
Johannesburg. So we do have a hub there. So you'll find the information about that hub under hubs on our website.
Okay, awesome. I'm not seeing any more questions on the chat. I'm not seeing anyone putting their hands up. Okay, just make sure I've covered everyone so far, the question and answers. Yeah, I have. So what we're going to do now in basically the last like 10 minutes or so is, I think it's always important to have things for people to take away. So I'm just going to quickly do a screen share, and then I'm going to take them through just the MLab Galeshewe website. And then I'm also going to take them through some of the Start, Build, Grow resources that they can use. And then after that, we're just going to wrap up the session with just sharing all the necessary social media, any other closing words that you want to give off to them. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. I trust that everyone will be able to see my screen in 3, 2, 1. Okay, you should be able to see my screen now. So first things first, the stars of the show. So basically, this is the MLab Galeshewe website. To get to it, you type in mlab.co.za/mlab-Galeshewe Northern Cape. Okay, and on there you obviously see the different tabs, different pages for MLab itself. And if you want to find out more information on specifically the MLab Galeshewe, you then be able to scroll down and basically see the location. And I'm sure a lot of you, if you've driven across, if you've driven in Kimberley, one of the most famous streets, the Ulana Street, you would have seen MLab, the MLab sign up there. So don't worry, guys, so much you've heard it's an open door policy. So those see these gates being closed. Most importantly is you can interact with them on social media. These are the hashtags and the handles. I'm just putting them on the chat as well. And for me, the most important thing was just obviously you can see their tweets, but you're also able to just drop them your name, your email address, and any other question that you might have, or you want to share more about your app that you want them to help you develop. Is there anything that else you'd like me to add, gents, or have I covered everything with regard to your website?
I think you basically covered everything.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so now with regard to the resources, the whole concept of this being start, build, grow, you would know that Startup Grind is sponsored by Google for Startups, and they've got quite a lot of resources that I would like you guys, as part of our community going forward, to just know that is there. We'll get into details. We're going to start having basically, I don't want to really say events, but we'll start having sessions where we go through each of these topics. So it's just about how to start, how to build, how to grow. And you would have heard hashtag and Kabelo talking about how it's very difficult to get people to become a mobile first type business or a technology first type business. But honestly, guys, this is the way that we need to be able to interact. We need to be able to understand that mobile first is not just a trendy thing that people use, but everyone is on their phones. So you can literally run your entire business just on your phone, and we basically want to teach you the tools that you'll need. There's some really interesting things. For example, just this week, for my mentor, she taught me about this specific app, right? It's called Talkatone, where you can actually create a US-based phone number, and you can literally start doing business with people in the US for free. You can literally call, people can call you, you can receive clients. It's such tools that can actually help you start earning dollars already. Another one, that's my sisters actually started using is, I just forgot, it's called iTalki, where she's basically getting clients from Australia who are wanting to learn English, and with South Africa being an English-speaking country, you can get clients from all over the world. So we're trying to make people have access to you as a potential startup or an actual startup, not just from your immediate community, but we want to actually help you internationalize as well. So with the start, build, grow, what I'm going to basically do it since our first session is just making that the website exists. So you just type in startup.google.com. And it basically helps you go through the different stages of your startup. It also helps you prepare to apply for, the Black Founders Fund and different types of funding initiatives. You'd have seen a lot of news regarding this, where they announced the 50 startups recently from all over Africa that received about $3 million for the specific startups. So we basically want to train you and prepare you to be able to put in application for these type of funding opportunities, because it might seem far-fetched, but it's actually so easy to get funding from the USA or overseas, because a lot of people are looking to fund and invest in African startups. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly scroll through everything. I'm not going to go into detail. We'll be having sessions about this later on. So what the start thing is basically for just founders who are just starting out and they're looking to validate their MVP. So if you've got basically just a simple UX design or a prototype for your specific idea, this is perfect for you. And then when you go on to the build, right, this is for teams building out their products and you want to take them to market. So you'd have heard this is some of the work which MLab actually does. So now you actually have a resource in Kimberley, if you're from Kimberley, on how you can actually have teams. You can help have your team be assisted with building out the products and taking it to market. And obviously the most important part is grow. This is basically for how you're going to scale up. You want to meet your growing, the needs of your growing customer base, and how you can actually use digital tools to grow rapidly. And these are things that we have an understanding of. We're not experts in it. No one must think that we are, tech billionaires or anything. No, we just have the resources and these resources can actually make you grow. Because we're all about growing ecosystems, we're all about bringing people together. That's our passion, that's our love. And yeah, we just want to know you guys, for you guys to know that we are here. Yes, we're focusing specifically on Kimberley, but you must know that Startup Grind has other structures all over the country. MLab has other offices in different provinces. So you mustn't think that this is very limited to one space. We're just letting you know what's happening in our corner of the world. So on that, guys, I'm done from my side. Any parting words for our guests that you'd like to share with them, please?
Just includes, okay, can I come in?
Yes, please, you are within, man.
Yes. Just in closing, I just want to say, let's start building African solution. Let's not replicate what's happening in Silicon Valley. Let's start building African solution, because I believe the next big thing to come out of Africa, it's when we build African solutions. So let's not replicate what's happening in other countries. Let's build African solution. So let's not replicate what Facebook is doing. Let's not replicate what Uber is doing. Let's start building African solution. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Kabelo. Thanks so much. Hashtag.
You guys want closing words from me? Close. Yeah, so I share the sentiment of Kabelo. Let's build solutions to the needs of our people. That's the only way we're going to grow. If we actually go onto the ground to our own people first. Yeah.
No, thank you so much, guys. Most importantly, thank you to Terofato. Thank you so much, for making this happen. Without you, none of this would have been possible. We thank you for having actually built such a strong ecosystem, and actually bringing us into it. We really appreciate it. I also want to thank everyone that's joined in on this call. We've tried to keep it to an hour, and it seems as though we're actually on track, we're on time. That's what we do, we keep time because we have things to build, as you can see. But beyond this, guys, please just know that you can reach out. I've shown you the different websites. I've also let you know generally what we're going to be doing going forward. So that's just to sort of entice you, give you a reason to come back. But most importantly, please do keep in touch with Hashtag and Kabelo on their social media. Please do visit their page, share your details with them so they can also keep you informed from time to time. There's a lot of exciting things coming, not just specifically in Kimberley, but for the Northern Cape as a whole. We're going to try to get those sponsorships from the mines. We're going to try to get sponsorships from private sector, banks, and we thank, the different government departments so far for being supportive. It always comes down to their help because, if you look at the likes of NASA, the likes of Huawei, VW, these are companies that were all started by government departments. So what we starting could actually end up producing the next generation bridging company, So let's just keep at it. Let's all remember that we're all here to help each other. All the challenges that we have, we're here to actually help each other overcome. It's not anyone trying to step on anyone or be above or be at the top. There is no number one here. We are all, trying to push as a whole. So that's basically it from my side, signing out for Startup Grind Kimberley. And yeah, guys, this is the first of many, and we're really looking to help you guys start, build, grow your app ideas together with MLab. Thanks, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Wanga. Thank you, Hashtag.
Thanks for everything, Wanga.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
Guys. It's a great initiative.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Wanga. That was a great event.
Thanks, it's good.
All right. Bye.
Nice. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Wanga. Cheers, man.
Thanks, guys.